Good day, everyone. Do It Right Tech coming at you with another video to help you get to know your tech better. And today we have an actual iPad Pro 11-inch second generation. Now you may be thinking, why in the world do you have an iPad second generation iPad Pro, when they just released a brand new iPad Air 4? Basically has the exact same design. Well, that is what I'm going to cover in this video today. So stick around and I will tell you why. But first of all, I've already unboxed this, so let's get this box out of the way and show you the beauty of an iPad. So now I do have a dBrand skin on this. If you're interested, you can find dBrand and look them up, and it's for the Magic keyboard case. As you can see, it's a carbon fiber. It actually has that nice carbon fibery texture. I really like it. It's the first time I did it, and it's got that nice little carbon fiber cover for the camera. It really protects us, and considering that this is like basically a $290 keyboard, this thing really is amazing. dBrand, I mean, scratch it up all you want, this thing is heavy duty, so I highly recommend you go check them out. Again, I'm not sponsored by them. I just really love their products because this is the first dBrand skin I've tried, and really it was quite easy to install, quite easy to put on, and I love it. So I'm going to go over some accessories and why I bought this in the first place. So let's go over why I bought this. Alright, so I've been using the iPad Pro 2020 edition, the 11-inch, for about 2 weeks now, and I really love it. I got rid of my iPad Air 3 just because, well, they're rolling out with a new iPad. Those are going to go down in value, and I got a pretty good amount of money for it selling it on eBay. So I was quite happy with what I got it for. I got this on the educational discount, which not only got me the iPad for $750, the 128 gigabyte, but I also got the AirPods, just standard AirPods, no wireless charging, and that was for free. So I am just going to go sell those on eBay because I already had AirPods Pros. I love those, but hey, you know, get extra money, or if you want to give them to a friend, whatever. I mean, it's up to you. But again, that sale's over, so I took advantage while it was there, and that was one of the reasons why I bought this instead of the iPad Air. But now that we're going to be talking about it, and why I'd be recommending it even now over the iPad Air, is because of storage. Number one is storage. So if we see of the baseline iPad Air 4, it comes with 64 gigabytes of storage on the baseline. That's for $599, so $600. Or if you get the iPad Pro for $800 now, you get it for 128 gigabytes of storage. So that is twice as much. But if you do step it up to the iPad Air 2, good grief, iPad Air 256 gigabyte, if you do step it up to that, you will be getting more storage, but again, much heftier cost, $700. So, I mean, it's really up to you. You can find sales on these for $750, where you do get these for much cheaper, for $750. So you would be only spending $50 more for this. Now, what you get on the iPad Pro that you do not get on the iPad Air is you get, of course, that ProMotion. Now, of course, you can't see it because this is a 60 hertz camera, 60 FPS camera. It's not going to really show that 120 hertz really nicely, but if you were going to slow it down and put it side by side, you definitely tell the difference, especially just with scrolling. All the gestures, they're much smoother, they're much nicer and easier to work with. And that's really why I love this iPad. If you're a person who really likes that high refresh rate, you know, of how it flips, how it scrolls, everything, I'd highly recommend you get it. The ProMotion is something that's really nice. Another thing we have is if we look in our little nifty app on CPU-Z, here we go, and we look at our storage, oops, that's display. Let's look at memory. We have, as you can see, 6 gigs of RAM. So that is LPDDR4X. On the iPad Air, it only has, of course, 4 gigs. Good grief, I'm having a brain bump there. But it only has 4 gigs of RAM instead of 6. Now it's 2 gigs different. Most of the time, in fact, all the time, you're not going to see the difference. But this, if you're planning on keeping this for 4 years, even 3 years, or 5 years, depending on how much you really enjoy this, which I am planning on doing, that 6 gigs will save you in the long run. And I feel that it's something really, really enjoyable to use, the 6 gigs, especially to know that it is future-proof in the future. With how much Apple throws at this thing, it's becoming more and more like a desktop, a laptop, and I'll get into that later on how nice it is with it. Again, same thing applies for the iPad Air. It can be a laptop, but it just depends on how future-proof it is. If you don't expect to keep this that long, then by all means, go and get whatever suits you. 6 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, it will all work in the short run. In the long run, 6 gigs will, be a little bit better for what your needs are. I would recommend the 6 gigs if you do plan on keeping this for a while, because as we've seen, iPhone 12 Pro has 6 gigs, and that's a phone. So it's obvious that sooner or later, when Apple does eventually update everything, it's going to bring it up. Everything, all the iPads, even the base iPad, may have 6 gigs, maybe like 4 years from now. So that's what I'm saying, as things get older, operating systems, applications get heavier to run, which in turn slows it down. It's not the actual device that's getting slow, it's the actual software that's getting heavier. So that is why. So again, we have CPU-Z here. It just gives us a nice look of what we have. We have the Apple A12Z processor, which is a nice processor. It is the A12Z, which means we have 8 cores of core count for our CPU and 8 cores for our GPU count. Now, A12Z versus A12X, there's really nothing different besides the slight graphics difference between that one core that you get from A12Z to A12X. You get one more core on A12Z. But back to this, if I was getting it used, for all of you who want to get something used, if you can find a good price on the 2018 iPad Pro, and again, the camera quality, which I'll cover later, does not matter to you, neither does the LiDAR, and you don't really care about the storage or anything, because base 64 on this one, on the 2018, and you can find a good deal, I'd highly recommend you get that. The A12X is basically on par with the A12Z. They're both on the same chipset, both on the same architecture. They're not going to change a bit. So that's why I'm just saying it doesn't really matter what you get via A12Z or A12X. They're both going to have the same thing. But now let's talk about the A14. And now that is a different story. So the A14, I may pull you up a benchmark of what it is, but the A14 gets a pretty high single core count. And now on my previous video, I was saying blah, 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 that the A14 is not going to be as good as the A12, and that still holds true. The A12 has an 8-core CPU compared to a 4-core CPU, I believe. Or is it 6-core? 6-core, excuse me, but it's for high performance. I think, if I'm getting that wrong. But please forgive me if I'm getting that wrong. But anyways, back to my facts, is I know is that the A14 does get better on single core, which that includes, just like opening up your web browser, or opening up settings, or opening up anything you wanted, camera, anything. That's what really counts on single core. Multi-core is more of, Procreate or something like iMovie or Premiere or Photoshop even, which we have on here. That's what really counts for your multi-core. And on the iPad Pro, multi-core is better than on the iPad Air 4. So again, it really depends on what your workflow is. If you're just planning on reading and enjoying your iPad, reading a book, anything like that, then the iPad Air will handle it just fine. You can even use it to edit light videos, and it'll be just fine. It will definitely do it. But the Pro Motion is something that I feel a lot of people like that scrolling and that buttery smooth feeling is amazing. And it's something really that I feel a lot of people would enjoy. And just the fact that if you were speccing it up to 256 for 128 gigabytes on this boy, you can get that ProMotion, the LiDAR sensor, the dual cameras, which is, takes a picture with a giant iPad anyways, but, and I mean, it's a nice thing. I mean, you get a little bit extra space. You do get Face ID, which I feel that a lot of reviewers are saying, oh, Touch ID is so much better, especially now because everyone's wearing masks. I mean, that is a good idea on an iPhone. I have never really taken my iPad out of the house. I don't know why you would be wearing a mask in your house, but maybe you have a reason. But mostly I use my iPad inside my house, so not outside. Maybe if you take it to school, that's a different solution, a different situation. But if you're just simply using it inside, which I do always, I never take this out, then the Face ID is a miraculous thing. I mean, it works so flawlessly. But really, this is a lovely iPad, and that's one of the reasons why I bought this compared to the iPad Air 4. You get a couple other premium features, and if you're really expecting it and want to have the best features from it, then I would highly recommend you getting this. Also, you have your speakers. Speaker quality on the iPad Air 4 versus the iPad Pro. I unfortunately don't have the iPad Air 4 with me, but if you would look it up, I recommend a couple other channels you can look it up on. I'm sorry I don't have them with me, but I've tried out the iPad Air 4 in person and compared it to an iPad Pro 11-inch in an Apple store, and the Pro sounds much better because the Pro has quad speakers, which my camera does a really bad job of showing those. Sorry guys, good grief. But it has quad speakers compared to the dual speakers, which after researching it, it's really confusing because it looks like there are 4 speakers because there's 4 speaker grills on the iPad Air 4, both on down here and up here. But in fact, it's only 2 that are on both sides, if I am correct. But that's what I read, so don't quote me on that, but go check it out yourself. But this sounds light years better. Alright, so here is my full mobile workstation. Right here, and all in one compact package. And it's really nice. So I did spend the cash and dump it on this for this lovely Magic keyboard. And boy, is it amazing. I mean, we can just open it up right now here, and I'll show you how amazing it is. Of course, you can't see my screen, but if you could see my screen, you'd see my password, which Face ID is not working because I'm too high. But this Magic keyboard is amazing to type on. I mean, if we open up something, I mean, let's open up some pages, I guess, and create a new document, whatever. All right, but let's just say, hello world. You know, a really nice keyboard. I mean, you know, it's got a nice sound. I really love it against the thing. I wish they had this on my MacBook Pro because, I mean, it's so nice. And again, it has all the commands. Command H to go home. There we are. And Command Space if you wanted to bring up the thing. There's lots of commands. You can even hold down this and bring up your commands, you see, like that. But yeah, it's really nice. The trackpad is beautiful. I love the trackpad. Again, you can spec it out on the iPad Air, but I'm just showing you what I would personally get, just because I'm looking for something that will last a bit longer. Again, A14 is the one thing that will hold a lot of people back. A14 and the price. But the storage, 64 gigabytes, I mean, for $50 more, you can get this. And with this, you get a lot of things. You get, I've already went through them, but you get all sorts of things. ProMotion, lots of things. Better storage, better, a slightly better multi-core. And it's not slightly better, it's quite better, like a 20% better improvement over the A14. But again, A14 and A12Z are about the same, with A14 just being a little bit higher on the Geekbench score for a single core performance. So here we just have the Apple Pencil that everyone knows and loves. Apple Pencil 2, it just, plops in right on our lovely thing. Let's get this out of here. But as you can see, it just plops in like that. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to leave a like if you like this video, and subscribe if you really like this video, and check out some other content on the channel. And I again hope this video helped you keep in mind what you might want to be buying and what you might want to be looking at, and sort of, just cover what you were looking for. So once again, have a great rest of your day and stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.